Well, that was a bittersweet Hard Knocks episode. What is up, Finn fans? Last episode, season finale of Hard Knocks. It was a brutal one, and the ending was brutal. We're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about all of the stuff and all that stuff. But I want to just give you guys kind of a little bit of a rundown on what's going to happen on this channel. I'll probably do it again to the people who are like, I don't give a crap about the recap. This week is a lot of recapping the season, but also Brian Baldinger had some interesting things to say, so we're going to look at that. I'm going to still do picks. I'm thinking of live streaming the Buffalo Bills Kansas City Chiefs game, so that's going to happen this week as well. But most of it's a lot of recapping, and then we go into a lot of salary cap, cut, resign, restructure situations. I'm looking at my list right now. I do my Finn reaction video, which is comical, Tom Grassi-esque. We're going to look at the 2024 opponents. Yeah, that's it. And then I got to clean this off and write a new list of things that I want to do, things that I want to cover, and all that stuff. Hopefully the audio sounds better. I'm in the process of trying to fix it. I took my Fed head, which if you don't know what that is, it's kind of a booster for the audio, and I changed it. I put a no cord on. Hopefully it's not as crappy. I do apologize for the crappy audio. So let's jump into this. It starts with them going to KC. So it's kind of like a you might be asking yourself how I got here type situation. They start with them going to Kansas City. You start with them getting ready, and they're putting Vaseline all over themselves. They have rubber gloves underneath their other gloves, flak jackets, and it was just, it was cold. It was super, 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 super cold, and they were physically getting themselves ready to play in the super, super, super cold. Then they go back 5 days and just kind of look at what the Dolphins did to get prepared for this game, and they cut to Nick Saban retiring, and they show Tua Tagovailoa's reaction to Nick Saban retiring. They show Tua with Nick Saban after the national championship game, kind of talking and saying, like, if he did this, I would have done this, yada, yada. Talked about his connection with Jalen Waddle while at Alabama, all that good stuff. Then they showed practice, and Jalen Waddle was doing his thing in practice, and then Mike shut him down. Raheem Mostert showed how he was good in practice, and then Mike shut him down. And then Tyreek had a nice deep pass, and then Mike shut him down. He even was like, if I see you back out here, I'm calling a timeout on practice because you're done. Like, every time the guys that were banged up that we needed did something, he was like, you're done. Okay, you're done. I don't need to see any more. But there was one pass where Tyreek was like, I would have jumped for that, but I'm not jumping. So you could see and you could tell how beat up these guys were at this point in the season. And it's not an excuse, but it's a huge factor into the way that they played towards the butt end of the season. What else did they talk about? They showed the team getting ready, packing up to go to Kansas City, and their equipment guy, all the hand warmers, all of that stuff. McDaniel talking about the 49ers game when he was with them in Green Bay, the one that they won. It was cold. Talks about last year at Buffalo when he was like, we were more banged up in January in Buffalo in the playoffs, and we were so close to winning that game. So he's kind of just trying to tell them that the cold is just a mindset. It's, blah, blah, blah. The Kansas City is also going to be dealing with it and all this other stuff. So kind of go into that aspect of it. What else? He brought up the adversity as an opportunity type situation. And yes, it is. But at this point, how much more adversity does this Miami Dolphin team have to face before they succeed in the opportunity? So he did say that again. Tyreek Hill talks about his pass in the Super Bowl and how it was, I forgot what he called it, the play. but it was kind of a pylon pass where he ran. He acted like he was going to go towards the. He was playing in the slot. He ran. He acted like he was going to go towards the post, and then he boom bounced it to the outside to the pylon, butt naked open, a little bit of an underthrow, and gets tackled. Most definitely would have been a touchdown if it wasn't an underthrow. Not shade, but just the facts. And then they bring up the fact that the Miami Dolphins brought in Houston, Irvin, and Malik Reed because we are so decimated in the injury front on our pass rushers. So those three guys come in. Wilkinson, Sealer are having fun with Melvin Ingram and ask him, we give you 20 rushes. How far or how many yards do you think you're going to get on the two of us? And Melvin Ingram said 25 yards. He's like, I'm going to fall forward at least once or twice. And they're like, that's fair. Ingram tells his friend, he goes out to dinner with his friend before they leave for the game. He tells him that Mike said, you want to do something extraordinary. You want to do some extraordinary things. You got to take it. And essentially means like, you got to beat these teams. If you want to be good, you want to go to the Super Bowl, you got to beat these teams. And he's not wrong. And then I noticed while they were getting ready, they showed the back of Jalen Ramsey with his pads on. He had a $5 bill in his flak jacket, which I thought was pretty cool. I wrote that one down. Refs were wearing. So Sealer went up to one of the refs and he's like, how many layers are you wearing? And he said 6. And he said he got a wetsuit on. And then Raekwon Davis kind of like tore his pants and his butt was bleeding. They were showing that. And then they showed how resilient the defense was, giving up 1 touchdown in the first half. And you saw it. You saw it even more in this Hard Knocks episode. How, yes, the defense gave up, 30 points, give or take? But in the first half, it was 1 touchdown. And in the second half, it was 1 touchdown. It was in the first quarter, a touchdown, and at the end of the game was a touchdown. In between that defense held its all, and they fought hard. And to the point where, and I'm going to talk about it, that Jim Waddle said something about it. But even, the voiceover from Liev Schreiber and, just how resilient this defense was with the amount of injuries they have, and they're still doing their thing. So there was that. Fangio tells the defense at halftime they got to find a way to get a turnover, essentially. And unfortunately, they don't. I think that would have helped drastically. But would it have? Because our offense did absolutely nothing. McDaniel says, and this is when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I don't know anymore. There was it was a bunch of plays that just something didn't happen, and then there was a play right in front of him. Jalen Waddle took a big hit, and McDaniel said, "We can't do blank, man." SHIT. He was like, "We can't do anything on offense. Where's the adjustments? Why aren't you making any adjustments there?" And then Waddle came out and he says, "The defense is doing all they can. We can't do blank. They should be struggling, not us." Essentially, he's like, they should be struggling with the amount of injuries they have, not us. And he noticed it, and I noticed it. The past 2 weeks, the defense is doing their job. Yes, they give up a ton of yards. Yes, it looks bad. But at the end of the day, they are holding opponents to either turnovers or field goals. And the job is for the offense to score points. And the offense has been stagnant the last 2 weeks. So Waddle even notices that. McDaniel, they showed him being, in the roughing the passer call. He was mad about the no hold call. I think it was on Justin Houston. And then he says, we lost, obviously. He says championship all over this team. It's a shame. And his post-game speech, you could just like he tells him he loves him. And, it's an honor and this season was something great and blah, blah, blah. And you could really if it was he was doing for the money or, you could tell when someone doesn't care. And in that moment, you could see Mike McDaniel was hurt. He saw, and you even saw it in Christian Wilkins when he said his post game, when he said his last words essentially before they broke huddle, how, remember this when you're training, remember this, we'll be back here. It sucked. As much as it sucked for us fans, it sucked tenfold for those players who put their time, effort, and bodies on the line to try to win a championship. Like there's fans who think they don't care. They've packed it in. He sucks. We got to get rid of him. He's got not knowing how much time, effort, like that they take away from their family, that they put into their bodies. Like it hurts and it sucks for them to lose that game more than it sucked for us. So sometimes we got to take a step back and put things into perspective that these are human beings. It's not a Madden game. These are human beings and these are professional athletes. So just wanted to say that. But it sucks. This is the last episode of Hard Knocks. Don't ever do Hard Knocks again, Miami. For the love of God and everything holy on this earth, don't ever do Hard Knocks again, because as soon as Hard Knocks started, we just injury after injury after injury after injury. So Stephen Ross or Tom Garfinkel or whoever's in charge of Hard Knocks and it's like, yeah, we'll do it. No. Don't ever do Hard Knocks again. Please. For the love of everything holy. But that's what I got. That's my recap of Hard Knocks. We're done. Now it's a lot of off-season stuff. Like I said, I'm going to still be predicting playoff games and the Super Bowl. But we're getting ready. Ready for the cap movement. Ready for free agency. Ready for the draft. We have the 21st overall pick. I'm going to go over all the picks. Who we should target. Don't worry about money. I'm going to make a whole video talking about the cap and how it can move and we could do whatever we need to do whatever we want to do. So don't worry about it. Let them worry about it. Don't worry about it. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow with the picks of the weekend and of the divisional round. We're going to recap the wild card round, talk about that. And I think you're going to get 2 videos tomorrow. Either 2 videos tomorrow or 2 on Thursday. I haven't decided. But I have a lot. And I'm going to recap Mike McDaniel Sr. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like usual, stay classy and fins up.